Hello everyone, I am Jimmy Conrad, and one of the most exciting leagues in the world that no one seems to really get to watch because their TV deal seems so bad. But whatever, it's still the highest level of Fussball in a country known as Deutschland and a league known as the Bundesliga. So I said to myself, F it, let's do another preview. So with the help of not producer Ben, it's Bernie from Bayern Munich. What's up, Bernie? High five. And I'm going to tell you where everyone is going to finish in Germany's first division. And I'm not biased about who I think is going to win because he's sitting right next to me, or that I'm wearing this jacket. Okay, let's do it now. First one up, Borussia Mönchengladbach. They finished in third place last year, their highest position since 1987, and they're going to be in the Champions League this year. But they need to replace the 11 goals and 9 assists of Max Kruse, who was their best player last season and who was sold to Wolfsburg for 12 million euros. The new man to replace him is Joseph Dermich, who after a disappointing season at Leverkusen will be hoping to rediscover the form that saw him score 17 goals for Nuremberg in 2014. So I'm going to say 6th. Next up, Eintracht Frankfurt. Now, Die Adler were a team of extremes last year. On one hand, they had the Bundesliga's top scorer in Alexander Meyer scoring 19 goals and firing them to 9th place. But on the other hand, they conceded the third most goals, which made them finish in 9th place. Now, Meyer's still there, but they've lost their excellent young goalkeeper, Kevin Trapp, to PSG. So without him and without Meyer unlikely to repeat his phenomenal season, the Moody Diva will probably finish, I'm going to say, 12th. And that's her nickname, true story. Lanush Diva. Lanush? I probably didn't say that right. Moody Diva. You ever use any of this stuff? You kind of spray it on you. It's Cologne! They lost their top scorer, the goat-wielding striker Anthony Uja, but replaced him with Hoffenheim's Anthony Modeste. They were impressive to stay up last season in their first season since promotion, but they found it hard to score. Their 9-goalless draw set a new Bundesliga record. Second season syndrome affects even the most promising promoted clubs, and Cologne are going to take a hit and finish 14th. You like that all-natural Cologne, huh? It's Hamburg! Dardino had to beat Karlsruhe in a playoff to avoid relegation last season, and that made it 2 seasons in a row that the Hamburglers have narrowly escaped the drop. They played Bayern Munich on the first day of the season. Super Bayern. Hey, but unfortunately for Hamburg, they do not have Rafael van der Vaart, Marcel Janssen, or Valan Behrami. So this is going to be a really tough year for them, and it's going to be the first time that the oldest club in the Bundesliga is going to get relegated. I'm going to say 17th. Sorry. I know you want them to stay up, but... Hanover. Die Roten didn't win a match from December until May last year when they beat Augsburg to save themselves from relegation. They brought in Mevlut Erding, who scored 19 goals in 52 appearances for Saint-Etienne, but after losing their striker Joe Salou and club captain Lars Stindl, they'll be missing both leadership and goals, and I think they're going to finish 16th. But they can stay up at 16th because the playoff. I don't know if you know that. You probably know that. Hertha Berlin. Die Alte Dame feature American soccer hero John Anthony Brooks, but his bravery wasn't enough to keep Hertha from barely staying up last season. They added rejected Bayern youth product Mitchell Weiser, who at just 21 years old could still be a big part of any success that Hertha has this year. It would be nice to see, actually, the biggest club in Berlin have some success, so I'm going to go for a hopeful prediction of 15th. That doesn't feel hopeful, saying 15th. Starts with an I, ends with a T. Ingolstadt! One of 2 newly promoted clubs, and the Bundesliga's newest club, having only been formed in 2004, Die Schanzer have enjoyed a major rise through the ranks, which has largely been facilitated by the financial backing of Audi. But no matter how they got there, they're in the big time now, and Ingolstadt is a cohesive team that thrives on togetherness and team spirit, and with star player Pascal Gross and American midfielder Alfredo Morales, and the previously mentioned financial backing of Audi to buy some players in January if things go bad in the fall, I'm thinking 13th. Mainz. Now, Mainz is a team known for buying low and selling high, and that is no exception this season. After finishing 11th last year, they brought in a record amount of revenue this summer by selling young star Johannes Geis and leading scorer Shinji Okazaki and replacing them with FC Basel's Fabian Frey and FC Tokyo's Yoshinori Muto. It's manager Martin Schmidt's first full season in charge, so that should give the squad a boost, but I'm not sure they have the talent to really make a huge jump up the table. They're a solid mid-table team that shouldn't really deal with relegation, but I don't really feel like they're ready for Europe either, so I'm going to say 11th again. Stuttgart. The Swabians made an incredible recovery last season, winning their last 3 games to avoid relegation. They have a new coach, Alex Zorniger. They returned many of the key players who helped them avoid relegation, including Filip Kostic, Daniel Didavi, and Daniel Jinsek, and even beat Manchester City 4-2 in a preseason friendly, if you count preseason friendlies. If they can stay healthy, they're going to be fine, and they might even challenge for a spot in Europe. Maybe, so 9th. Werder Bremen. The bad? They lost leading goal scorer Franco De Santo, who scored 13 goals for the club last season, helping them to a 10th place finish. The good, they brought in American striker Aaron Johansson and Cologne's Anthony Uja to fill that goal-scoring gap. So if those two can make a strong partnership under the leadership of manager Viktor Skripnik, I think European qualification is pretty attainable. 7th. Schalke. For a club that always has hopes of the Champions League, last season was a bit of a downer, and they finished 6th. However, I get the sense that things are going to be better than ever. Though, that's just on paper. There are no guarantees. They've got a new manager, Andre Breitenreiter from Paderborn, a strong back line with Benedikt Howades, Joel Matip, Roman Nutzstadter, and now Matija Nasic from Manchester City. And 2 big additions in Johannes Geis and Franco De Santo. And you add all those positives to the fact that Julian Draxler, one of Germany's best young stars, is still there, and I think we are looking at a rejuvenated and dangerous Schalke team. But are they strong enough to keep up with Wolfsburg, Mönchengladbach, Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich, and everybody else that's going to be up the top for a Champions League spot? I don't know. 5th. Wolfsburg. Last season's Bundesliga runners-up returned with all of the players who put together their special run last season, including Bas Dost, Naldo, and Kevin De Bruyne, for now. They've also added Max Kruse from Borussia Mönchengladbach and are hopeful that Chelsea cast-off Andre Schürrle can find his form after a disappointing first 6 months at the club. They'll have a Champions League campaign to compete in, but appear to have the depth to compete on both fronts. So I'm expecting big things once again from the Wolves. If, this is a big if they can hang on to De Bruyne. But I don't think they're going to, so I'll say 3rd. Lots of H's, lots of F's. It's Hoffenheim. The Hoffs, are they called the Hoffs? I feel like they should be, because Germans love that guy. Anyway, the Hoffs suffered a major blow with the loss of top scorer Roberto Firmino to Liverpool. Sadly, they haven't replaced Firmino with anyone really strong, which means that much of the attacking responsibility will fall to Kevin Volland, a young promising striker/winger, but not someone I'm sure can carry the whole team. And seeing how they just crashed out of the DFB Pokal, they've got a little while to go before the team is really firing on all cylinders. So I'm going to say 10th. Augsburg. They were the surprise of the season last year, finishing 5th and earning a Europa League spot. But that blessing is also a curse now because manager Markus Wiensierl has to juggle both competitions with a squad that has no depth. For example, 10 players started 20 or more games last season, and very few reinforcements were brought in during the summer. And the loss of defender Baba Rahman, who's reportedly on his way to Chelsea as we speak, leave the squad with no ready-made replacements. I'm going to say 8th, and that might even be a stretch, but 8th. Darmstadt, 98. Die Lilien are coming off back-to-back promotions that finds the club in the Bundesliga for the first time in 33 years. They do have 6'6" striker Dominic Stroh-Engel to be a rock up top, and captain Aitek Sulu, who led Darmstadt's defense to the best record in the second Bundesliga last season. But in reality, it's going to be super difficult for the Lilies to stay up for a second season in the Bundesliga, and I don't want to say 18th, but I'm going to say 18th, and they're going to go straight back down. Bayer Leverkusen. After finishing 4th for the second year in a row last campaign, Leverkusen looked to actually contend for the Bundesliga crown this season. It'll be tough to get near Bayern, but with the return of World Cup winner Christoph Kramer from his 2-year loan at Borussia Mönchengladbach, Bayer's midfield is instantly better. Manager Roger Schmidt's high-pressing style, much like Jurgen Klopp's at Dortmund, will either harass the Bundesliga into submission or lead to his players burning out. No matter what, though, this team will be entertaining, and I'm looking forward to watching it all go down. So, 4th. Borussia Dortmund. Last season, Dortmund were dead last at Christmas and were lucky not to be relegated, let alone finish 7th, which is some kind of modern miracle. They've lost their heavy metal manager Jurgen Klopp, who may or may not be my dad, but replaced him with another highly rated young German manager, Thomas Tuchel. There's no way, though, that Dortmund start as badly as they did last season. It's just not possible. And they've added some consistent pieces in Moritz Leitner, Jonas Hoffmann, and Gonzalo Castro. But the key to their season will be if Marco Reus can stay on the pitch. And I think that he will, and that means I think they're going to finish 2nd. Ooh, one left, and it is Super Bayern. Hey, Bayern Munich! My main bear, Bernie, and the club walked away with the Bundesliga again last year for the 3rd time in a row, and now they've added Arturo Vidal, which doesn't seem fair, to replace the aging Bastian Schweinsteiger who left for Manchester United, and they added Douglas Costa into the fold from Shakhtar, and the team is again deep and full of stars, and really, let's be honest, they should be untouchable yet again this season. So why waste any more time on this one? They're getting 1st. Like you're that surprised. So that's what I know is going to absolutely happen in Germany, but I want to read what you have to say. So let me know who you think is going to win it and why. And Bernie and I are going to go take that long walk. Let's go, pal. Thanks for stopping by.